every time I turn on my Xbox, it says, it needs an update, 4 GB update. You have to wait like probably a half an hour to play. I just want to play Red Dead Redemption. It's an offline game. I don't need connection, whatever, and I come from the time where you insert your CD in your console, in your Xbox and your PlayStation, whatever, and you could play in peace offline. Nowadays you need internet connection and everything. I just want to play in peace without any updates whatsoever. And I have to wait now like 20 minutes. That's why I have decided to make a little video about the Lumix S5. 1 year with my Lumix S5. My experience, is it a good cam? I worked a lot with this cam. If you don't know me, my name is Paul. I'm a German filmmaker. I'm the dude with the Lumix S5 and probably with another camera, as you can see here. And I shoot mostly commercials. I'm not a big YouTuber. I have not the most followers, but I can tell you I make some money with my camera. And if you want to learn how to make some money with your camera, and if you want to have some real work experience and knowledge, then maybe subscribe to my channel. That would be cool. So, 1 year with my Lumix S5. Today we have, I think, the 9th of December 2022, and I got this camera in November, I think the 19th of November 2021. And I traded my Panasonic GH5 for this camera. And what has changed since? Well, I got better clients, more clients, and this camera made my life. No, basically, what changed after I got the pretty cool Lumix S5 camera? Well, lowlight is the thing. Lowlight was for me the main reason to get this camera, besides some other things. What work experience? Let's begin with maybe some interesting things. The real world working experience with this camera, because I work mainly with this camera. Vlog is very good in this camera. I can recommend Vlog when you shoot outside. It's bright, 2 stops overexposed or 1.5 stops overexposed, and you can color grade like hell. This camera delivers such a good Vlog capabilities, and the transform, when you have a good conversion LUT, not a look LUT, it's 2 different things. When you convert then the Vlog gamma curve to Rec 7 or 9, that gives you a really good image. Let's start with also the look and feel. This camera feels amazing. It got ultra wet in my hands. I use it like a hammer. I use it in rain, in sand. It was wet, cold, minus 10 degrees, plus 30 degrees and even more. And that camera never failed me. It never overheated, not even in it never overheated even in the heat of Los Angeles, where I wore this August, and let me tell you, it was pretty hot there, and it never overheated even on 4K, 422, 10-bit recording a long time, blah blah blah, and it never failed also in the cold winds and the cold rains of Iceland. It never failed there. The touch screen works amazing. I had the screen protection on this, but the touch screen looks still ultra good. The buttons are functioning. It hasn't lost any buttons or anything. It got ultra dirty. It's very dusty right now, but it has never failed me. Never has this camera indeed failed me. This camera works like a tank. And yeah, some people mentioned, well, I have my Canon R5 or R6 and they film a lot of 4K with this and it overheats. I could not use the camera where I'm afraid that this camera overheats, because sometimes I had to shoot long interviews or film on an event. Everything must be perfect. There's only one chance to film this event or demonstration or etc. And this camera had to work, and that's why I got the Lumix S5, because it worked. It never failed me. And the image this camera can produce is amazing. It's 24 megapixels, which is plenty enough for me. It has shutter button, it has, well, everything you need. When you are new to cameras, you say, oh, it has 24 megapixels, it can shoot like 200 mbits per second, it has this and this and this. In real working world, doesn't this so much matter, because you need good ergonomics, you need good codecs, etc. You can also use the natural color profile and the cinema-like dynamic and cine-like V2 variant in this camera, which looks awesome. I use it often with 8-bit and full HD for clients. Most of the time I use 4K maybe 10-bit and like natural or Cine like D, Cine like Video 2 color profile, and to give us a good look straight out of camera. Because when you work with clients, sometimes you need fast return times. You cannot sit like 2.5 weeks and color grade your footage, and everything must be dialed down to the last bit. Sometimes fast turnout times are important. That's why I am maybe not the ultra best colorist, but this camera works even without color grading. You can shoot, edit, give it to client, and it looks amazing. Low light capabilities are insane in this camera. I have never seen a camera with such a great low light capabilities, besides some cameras like maybe the Sony a7S III. I got it. These cameras are maybe even better in low light, but it has only 12 megapixels. Sure, a sensor, when it has a lot of megapixels, like a sensor with 36 or 48 megapixels has much more noise and high ISO levels, like in a sensor with 12 megapixels. It's like the pixels are in such amount of space and only 12 megapixels on the same size of a full frame sensor, then the pixels have more space and the image can be processed a little bit cleaner. And I think 24 megapixels is the sweet spot where it looks amazing. The in-camera noise reduction in the Lumix S5 works ultra amazing. You can use it like ultra amazing. It is usable. I shot event videos where I had to shoot some nice slow motion 60 FPS 4K, then downsample to 25 FPS because I live in Europe. 99% of the time I deliver in 25 frames per second. So low light is actually a thing when you need to shoot in an event with like indoor, not the best lighting situation, and you want some slow motion. That's why I often used ISO 10,000, 20,000. Noise reduction in camera, the client was happy. That's it, and that's how this camera works. It can deliver. It produced ultra amazing photos. It is fast. It never failed me. Sometimes I was on events, I had to shoot clack, ultra fast shooting. I got in the burst mode, and sometimes I shoot only in JPEG for some scenarios because of data saving, etc. And I shoot ultra fast. Sometimes maybe sport events or whatever, and that's where you need only JPEG. When you can expose, you only need JPEG. You can shoot RAW. Sure, I often shoot RAW, but you can use JPEG in this camera. Look straight out of cam, amazing. It's also nice for vlogging. I did some extensive vlogging with this cam, and it's not too heavy. It's actually pretty light. Also with the 16. Can you see this? With the 16 to 35mm lens, can this other camera focus on this camera? No, I don't think so. This 16 to 35mm lens in combination with this camera is amazing. Sure, I know there's some people saying now, well, the autofocus in the Lumix S5 is not so good. Well, then watch another channel and play with your Sony camera or whatever, because autofocus, I am ultra not interested in autofocus. I don't need autofocus at all. Most of the time, when it comes to a professional shoot and when I have to film something professional, like it's a little staged image film where I shoot some staged scenes, or when I have an event, 99% I use manual focus. I shoot manual focus like 99% of the time. I know how my linear manual focus in my lens works. I know all the time where my focus is, and there is nothing worse than, and I see this in some occasions, look for it. Someone is filming something with autofocus, and you film a face of the dude, and someone walks past the frame, and the autofocus goes and tries to focus on this guy in front of him or behind, and then there's a cut and there's the next scene. Even before the autofocus fades away, you just see the autofocus hunting, and then you have a next cut. That's so stupid. Don't use autofocus on professional shoots. I know there's cinema cameras also don't use autofocus. There's the reason for that. There's a reason for that, like when cine lenses have these manual gears, even on the aperture and everything, there's a reason for that. And I don't call myself a cinematographer, or maybe I will never work in the film industry or cinema industry, but I look for people who work with cameras. How do they work with it? How do they make videos and films and etc., how can I emulate it, and why do they do this? Why do they use manual focus? Because the focus transition can be fast. You want a fast focus transition, and sometimes you want a very soft focus transition. You cannot achieve that with autofocus. Autofocus, like snap, snap, how do you set it, fast, etc., on phase, not on phase, or whatever. With manual focus you can change everything, and I like the smooth focus transition sometimes, and yeah, that's why I need no autofocus in a camera. I could even work with cameras that had absolutely no autofocus. So that's enough about autofocus. This camera is amazing. I can tell you, when you want to purchase this camera, I can give you my 100% go. Who should purchase this camera? People who want to have an amazing camera and good lenses, good glass, nice looking image, nice vlog, and even people who want to work want to get in the working world with cameras. They can rely on this camera 100%. I used it, of course, with the rig when you saw my previous videos, and they have a video where, or here or there, or in the video description, I don't know, or you go on my channel, subscribe and watch some other videos. Then I tell you how to work with a rig with this camera, and yeah, it works pretty amazing. It is a good camera. I have seen deals, I have seen deals, Black Friday deals or somewhat, with the Lumix S5 for maybe 1,200 euro, 1,300 euro for this camera, which can shoot 4K 10-bit, amazing vlog, never overheats, never fails. It will work for years and years to come. Yes, Chris Howe from, you know, the YouTuber Chris Howe, he's also working with this camera. Well, I have never actually seen some work with this camera from him. I only saw the self-made YouTube videos with it, but well, I guess you worked with this camera, or you have shot maybe only YouTube videos. That's the thing where I could complain a lot about some YouTubers I love to see. They never show actual work. I only see the videos they do for themselves. Sure, that's the kind of work, but there's a difference when you shoot for clients between shooting for yourself, because yeah, that's the difference. There's a difference in working style, and I would like to see, and I wish I would like to see some more work of these actually work YouTubers with that. I don't know, you can check out my work on my website if you want. I can tell you this camera is amazing. Downsides of these cameras, of this camera is, for me, what is the downside? Maybe I do another video where I mention like 5 things I like and 5 things I don't like about the Lumix camera. But one downside is, guess what is my downside? The mini HDMI. The mini HDMI, I hate this flimsy micro, is even a micro HDMI. You need an adapter to adapt it to a monitor with this little small rig adapter or whatever. I don't like that. It broke like 2 or 3 times in my working life, and I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. There's also some other things why I purchased the Lumix S1H, because the Lumix S1H is much more like a real cinema work camera than this. That's the transition between I'm a hobbyist YouTuber and I want to make some actual money with my camera, then get this camera. I can tell you, it's amazing. It never failed me. It has all the buttons. It got dirty, it got ultra hot, it got ultra cold and wet, etc. I used it like a hammer. Really, I used it. I love this camera. I want to keep it as long as I can. It's full frame, it's amazing. Thank you for watching. Maybe I do a video 5 things I like and don't like about the Lumix S5. See you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm a small channel, but I have some knowledge about making some money with your camera. Paul, over and out. Let's shoot some B-roll of this camera. Man, like I said, manual focus and then focus on the camera. Yeah, that looks nice. That's my Lumix S5 camera with a little cage. I like this cage. That's a small rig cage. Small rig, nice company. Yeah, there's even a little screwdriver down here. Yeah, that's a nice camera. That's how the inside of the camera looks. That's like the nice full frame sensor. That could be a nice thumbnail. Like this. I don't know. Yeah. Close the sensor. Nobody, because nobody likes open sensors. See you.